Hello, everyone. This is Ivan with Create Your Future. I am a certified life coach. I specialize in personal development, relationships, and the law of attraction. And today I wanted to share a very happy and exciting success story from one of my clients. This client actually went from having this huge argument where he reacted in a way that he did not want to react to actually getting the communication flowing after 2 months of no contact and also getting an apology and seeing a lot of progress into getting into the committed relationship that he's been wanting for the past couple of years. Okay. Before I share details of the success story, I wanted to remind you that we are currently running a contest where as soon as we hit 100,000 subscribers, 3 lucky winners will be chosen and they will get a free session with the coach of their choice. All you have to do is comment, like, and share this video. Comment anything of how the law of attraction or the law of assumption has helped you out, how it's inspired you, and what you've created out of it, okay? So let's start with a success story. So this client came to me 2 months ago where he and his SP had this huge falling out because of an argument that they had. So basically, it had been years of, well, it was like a year and a half that they'd been dating. And he felt like the SP was never going to commit because he was always just kind of like, anytime he would question the relationship or ask him, how do you see us? Or what's going to happen between us? Or are we good? You know, the SP will kind of like slowly retract more and more and more. So he was constantly questioning the relationship. And there was parts of him that, was still, wanting this desire and he was keeping it, but he was also resisting for any possible movement towards the commitment because of the assumptions that he had been carrying for even past relationships. So they had this huge like fallout to where they had this argument where he just exploded and started saying his SP actually told him, you always want me to be something that I'm not. I'm sick and tired of it, and that really hurt him. So they separated and there was no communication for a couple of months. So he discovers Create Your Future and he becomes very curious about it. So he books a session with me and we start to talk about what the limiting beliefs were. So his main limiting belief was that he never felt chosen, okay, which is a very common one. And as you could tell by many of my previous videos, that's usually one of the blocks, this idea of like abandonment or like, fear of losing the thing that you want. It's very, very present in a lot of situations. So we started to go a little bit back and we figured that the abandonment issues came from like, he'd never felt cared for by his mother and he always felt like his father was not present in the household. So he created this negative assumption about relationships in general to where any of his own personal relationships started to reflect a lot of what his parents were doing. So the first thing that we did was kind of work with that block and kind of release that old story and created his new assumption of what a relationship is. So we started to work with intentions of what he wanted in a committed relationship. So he started to work with the safety of being in a relationship, the confidence of being in a relationship, the unity, the loyalty of it all. So he started to work with that alongside of the intentions of the communication and anything else that he wanted to see come about. So he started to work with this and we would have weekly sessions and he would always stay very persistent to his intentions, even when he felt like if it was working or not, he would still maintain it. He was still going at it. So 2 months into this, he actually gets communication going, which really excites him. And, they're starting to talk again, little by little. And he would start to kind of get very anxious about the communication because he wanted more. He wanted the communication to be every day, several times a day. So he wanted it all now to where he would start to control the situation again. So we talked about really allowing for the communication to flow into his life, okay? So that's what we started to work with him receiving what it is that you wanted, okay, and not getting in the way of creating it. So we started to work with that, through intentions of like saying, I allow myself to receive this communication the way that I want it. I am deserving of this communication. I'm adoring of this communication. So he started to work with this new idea of receiving the communication that he wanted. So as he stayed persistent to that idea, he started to notice that the communication was growing and that it was getting so effortless and very kinder and more loving. So then he wanted to know about of apology. Now, this is a question that a lot of my clients ask me. I want an apology. Now, you could get anything that you want, and everything that you intend for, you could absolutely get. But just remember that you have to be accountable that any situation that causes separation, there is a thought that you might have had that created the whole experience. So it's all about starting by forgiving yourself for creating that moment. And if you can make peace with it, well then why continue to relive a moment that has nothing to do with your desire? So that's usually what I tell them. But if they want to persist on getting the apology because it's just something that they need, well, and this is the case for this client, he persists, but he is forgiven. He asked for my forgiveness for this situation, and he started to have an inner conversation of, I am so sorry for everything that I said, or I'm so sorry for the things that I've done. I'm sorry for making, whatever it is that the apology he wanted. He started to play that in his head through an inner conversation with his SP. So he did get the apology, and he was able to move forward from that. And now he started to persist more on the commitment side. And every success that he's been having, whether it be big or small, he is being very grateful for it. And he is showing a lot of like love and passion towards himself to like say, wow, I created this. This is all my creation. I'm so powerful. And, he's having the success, and he's got the apologies. He's got the communication flowing. He sees more of the commitment and more of the closeness of the SP. So kind of the main thing that we worked around this whole situation is being very aware of what you're thinking, and that's why in every single one of our videos, I'm pretty sure you hear a lot about the mental diet and persisting on the mental diet. What's really important so that you start changing those habits that are limiting you, so take any thought as positive feedback, whether it feels good to you or not at the moment. Take it as feedback and start acknowledging it and start to intend the opposite of it. So for example, like if you constantly thinking, oh, my SP is probably talking to somebody, or my SP probably wants somebody else and not me. Well, that's right there. It's telling you what part of you is rejecting this relationship. Well, it's an acceptance of self. So what would you do in this case? Well, you would start to affirm about yourself, to feel like you're chosen, to feel like you are important, to feel like you're being heard. And that's how you actually get smart in the way that you're intending, because it fits your circumstance and your situation of what your limiting beliefs are, okay? So this is kind of what we did with this client and all my clients that I work with. We try to find what is the source of the problem, and then we start to build the confidence around the limitation to the point where it doesn't even come about. And if the thought comes about, it's easy for you to reject it and start putting in the new belief in. And that's when the mental diet gets so much easier. And it's just like, it just becomes a part of you. That's just who you become. So that's why you want to persist on your mental diet, on your affirmations, on your intentions, because you want to create new ideas. You want to see new concepts of yourself. You want to experience new things that continue to inspire you so that you can keep on going in your journey. Remember, one of my favorite quotes is, if you want it to be, then it's meant to be, okay? So I do hope that this video inspires you. I intend for much success for my clients, as I do for all my clients. And remember, if you're ever curious about, what are your limitations or what is it that's not getting you to where you need to get, I am available for one-on-one sessions. Links are down below. And I just want to say thank you for all the love and all the wonderful comments that I received. I'm really appreciative of that. And I intend for you to continue to persist on your ideal life. Thank you so much. Bye.